and welcome to The Hill is Always Hungrier, a show where four friends have chili dog discussions about Sonic the Hedgehog to distract themselves from the boiled Brussels sprouts and their own rapidly waning ability to relate to being able to eat everything they did as a kid, because now metabolisms. I'm your host today, GameBuddy.
I'm your sous chef, Faulerro, and the inevitable passage of lunchtime was right there.
Oh man, that would have been so much. Fuck it. Fuck it all.
I am food critic, RockTheJake.
I'm CyberLink, and I'm finding this whole episode hard to digest already.
Ooh, take your fiber.
For multiple reasons.
Well, hopefully what we take in today doesn't go
up and down and all around.
Oh, we have fun here.
Today, if you didn't catch on to our incredibly clever and not came up with on the spot introduction there, we're talking about food, glorious food.
Yes.
Not just any food. One could argue, especially on this show, the greatest food ever related to Sonic the Hedgehog. That guy, he likes food. It's part of his personality since the very beginning, believe it or not. And this was another idea. Faulerro came up with, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
I love that one. I'm like, okay, I've got a great idea for an episode, Jeremy. I need you to introduce it because we're cycling through. Sorry. But yes, today we are discussing food in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe and also without the Sonic the Hedgehog universe. Because the one factor of Sonic the Hedgehog that's always been important, no matter what anybody tells you, is the food. And you can tell I have wrote this in advance, but let me go through it. From his signature sausage-based special to particular Pancake House promotions, there has always been a continuing culinary connection between the Needle Mouse and nourishment. And today, we're taking things to the kitchen with a whole episode dedicated to delectables, be they fictional, existent, or even theoretical. Yeah, food! Who likes food here on the podcast? Controversial take, food is good.
Generally speaking.
I like a food.
I'm down with food.
I like a make a food.
Hot take. Hot food good.
Unga bunga.
Why do they call it an oven when you I can't even.
When you take out
have
with
a
the
stroke trying to quote that.
Why do they call it oven when you in the cold food of hot eat the food?
John Arbuckle.
He's not
Oh
well.
boy.
Jarbonical.
I mean, we know he's not well. He feeds his cat lasagna. What a freak.
I know how it's pronounced. It's pronounced hors d'oeuvre, but every time I read it, my brain says horse divorce. So
that leads us into our first section, the appetizers. Because yes, we are the hors d'oeuvres. It's the things that come first. Horse divorce, divorce.
French is so funny.
So everyone, what comes to mind when you think of food in Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog in general? Like, what's your first food thoughts? It's not quite alliterative, but fair enough.
Popcorn. Haha, you thought I was going to say chili dogs.
Well, I guess you did now. You've ruined it now. We got to talk about chili dogs. No, that is the thing most people think of, like, even outside of the fandom. Anyone else got any, like, instant jump to your mind thoughts about food when it comes to Sonic?
Extremely high resolution sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, complete with Orbot's big brother / father in the background.
I say 55 because he's sassy.
God, that is a nice looking sandwich, though. Look at that.
It's such a good looking hero sandwich.
Texture.
Like,
It's a villain sandwich.
I mean, that thing is what caused the frame rate in Unleashed to be so unstable right there.
and I can prove it.
The Sonic Generation Sandwich Show.
Oh my god.
Now, does the chili dog count as a sandwich? Well, some people suggest it might.
Don't get that argument started.
No.
We can't.
We might have to when we cover something in this.
Are you one of those weirdos who says that pizza is an open-faced sandwich?
No, pizza is a taco, specifically New York style. No, John Hodgman solved that old argument years and years ago.
Everything's a sandwich if you try hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be very specific about the consistency of your sandwiches. The bread should be no less than 3/4 of an inch thick. Upon it, 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise and a pinch of black pepper. The contents, fresh cucumber, sliced thinly, if you please.
I always forget about that.
I know, that actually sounds pretty
Professor
good.
Pickle is very specific. He also likes his sandwiches without crust.
Yeah, it's valid. It's pretty standard in certain finger foods or Japanese style.
He's fine. He's probably got tenure.
Well, someone was going to say he's dead, but,
No, Bubsy's dead. Professor Pickle took over.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, that was a prequel. Okay. See, the problem was the Ghostbusters got there first and they unsettled because they went underground. That's what started things off in Sonic Unleashed. Canon, we've decided. Sorry, anyone who hasn't listened to our recent fanfic episode is going to be so confused, and that's fine.
They disturbed the sleep of the Gaias.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong that?
It's fine. Just don't worry about it.
We've spent a lot of time on this particular topic. To be fair, it's because I didn't add it to the list, so we got it out of the way.
He derailed us after you posted the sandwich, Luke.
like that is why the sandwich comes up like when I think of Sonic the Hedgehog food, because it has a presence, weirdly enough. And also it came back in Lost World because Zomom was eating even bigger one.
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh, his whole thing was eating. That's great.
It sure was.
But now he's dead. Sorry, it's just when you say a character and you say it in past tense, you can't help but think, oh no, that's a lot. Yeah.
In the words of in the words of that article about Wade, he had always been a hungry child.
No, Mom didn't die yet. I'd like, that's the thing. I've said that before, the Deadly Six. Is Lost World the Deadly Six kind of a whole nothing burger of a bunch of characters? Yes. However, they got brought back in IDW and were made slightly more interesting. And I liked it when they imprisoned Zomom in the cage and just like every half hour, someone brought him like a giant chocolate cake and threw it in his mouth. And he didn't seem to mind. He's, trapped in this horrible little prison, but he's fine as long as he just gets his treats.
Sometimes it's enough.
Moving on to the next course. Let's just a thing that I have titled either Mobian Morsels or Sonic's World Cuisine, depending on which you go for. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
I like the alliteration.
Thank you. That's all I got. But yeah, we're starting off by talking specifically, and I suppose that's what we've been doing so far, talking about food specifically within the wide world of Sonic the Hedgehog himself. And it doesn't necessarily mean just the games, just food as it is presented within the fiction of the Sonic's world. Because I think it's fun to talk about. And yes, you have to start with the most obvious one. Everyone knows about it.
McDonald's.
We're talking about McDonald's, exactly. What? Oh yeah, because they got McDonald's and Sonic, haven't they?
I believe there was one point where while they were having that promotion, the official Sonic website for America said that Sonic's favorite food was McDonald's.
No.
And even back then, no. I was like, don't give me that.
I mean, it is. We have established that Sonic likes fast. I mean, like in the early stuff, they were saying that Sonic liked lots of fast food because he needed the calories to zoom around and do all those crazy athletic things. So, and McDonald's is very fast food, but I don't think it exists in Sonic's world because Sonic's world is a nice place.
But yeah, we're just talking around chili dogs at this point.
To actually go back to the Sonic Bibles we've been through and early media, like the novels and whatnot, do talk about how Sonic perverts. Sonic does pervert
Whoa, hang on.
the youth, and I'm one of them, and proud of it. Sonic does prefer high-caloric fast food like burgers and milkshakes and crisps and all kinds of other stuff. Because they were doing the Flash thing. He burns tens of thousands of calories every day, and he needs them to keep his speed up.
And we obviously saw that continue to be maintained, particularly in the Martin Adams novels.
Lots of peanuts on standby. In fact, they made a big deal out of it in that first one we read. Really getting into the snacks that the Sonic and Tails apparently need to survive.
It's been a while since I read Castle Robotnik, but I think that it does in that one too.
Yeah, and this is the thing about, though, when it comes to chili dogs, though, seriously, that's one of the main things that people will bring up when it comes to Sonic's personality. Remember when I did that I was asking people, hey, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Sonic? Like for our Who is Sonic episode, lots of people mention chili dogs, because it's just so ingrained in the culture now. Thanks to the cartoons, and then I think it's mostly the cartoons. I know it's in the games now, but because I guess a lot of people's experience with Sonic was, that stuff.
And it makes sense because, we've talked about this before. That was during the era where every animal with attitude needed a trademark fast food.
That's true.
In the vein of the Ninja Turtles and pizza.
You gotta pick one, and then no one else is allowed to have it.
Yep.
Except for Shadow the Hedgehog. Sorry, just this from this official interview in 2005. Shadow the Hedgehog on food. What does he like? Pizza, Doritos, Snickers, anything mobile. Also a big fan of Hot Pockets. Not
Him and Wade would have a lot in common.
I just love the other one where I think the question is, what do you carry with you every day? And he's like, oh, my MP3 player and headphones, my PlayStation portable machine. I'm one hooked up hedgehog. Oh my God.
At least now they've settled on coffee, which makes a lot more sense for Shadow. Black coffee.
I really like that too.
But yeah, I just find it so fascinating that we did reach a point even before they really started digging deep on consolidating, all of the Sonic lore that, they totally just canonized chili dogs as Sonic favorite food starting in Unleashed. And it's been consistent ever since across all media. And that's kind of wild to me that we went from being a thing that was only really significant in the Western interpretations of Sonic, and now it's just permanent canon.
That is interesting because the closest we got, I think, was in Sonic. I suppose that's not the games, but it's adjacent to the games. It's Sonic X, where they have that when he's in that little running machine and a little hot dog pops out, and I was like, oh, it's almost a chili dog. And then they referenced them in Sonic Chronicles at the very end, but we can't acknowledge that anymore. So, Black Knight in a fully animated, beautiful cutscene. There he is with his hot dogs and dual-wielding hot dogs.
And Unleashed has 12 different variations of chili dog for you to get.
And some of the most unnecessarily hard challenges in that game. They're so mean.
Yeah.
All that for an egg dog.
I don't even want to know what's in it.
Eggs.
Well, hey, we might get into what is actually in a palatable version of that later, because the one in the game does not look palatable, actually.
Absolutely not.
I suppose, related to that, there's also the Sea Dog. That's one of the most recent parts of the Sonic canon, I suppose. But not within Sonic's world, but from another one. That's a one that we're not supposed to know what's in it, and it's fine.
Probably some seaweed and human flesh, I'm assuming.
There are only it's mostly ocean out there. The choices are limited.
Yeah, maybe some sea cucumber or something.
Oh yeah,
It does look like it's got little jalapenos on it or something. So maybe that's what they are.
Whatever, basically made from whatever bilge they could recover and make a meal out of.
I mean, if we're not supposed to know what's in it, that's basically the same as a hot dog anyway. So
that's true. That's true.
You just don't want to say that it's lips and assholes.
Lips and assholes is also how people would describe us on this podcast.
Yeah, who could blame them?
Also, Chaos Cola. I thought I'd bring that up because it's on all the billboards and exists within the fiction.
even as recently as the Shadow Generations game.
Yep.
And then, was there a reference to it in the movie? There might have been.
I'm pretty sure there's billboards in the movie, too. Like you said, Shadow Generations, the DLC level based off of the real Tokyo set from the movie.
Well, I was just playing the first level from Shadow Generations last night again, just because that's a very fun game. And when you go into the Radical Highway part, I remember seeing a billboard where it said Chaos Cola, so it's still a thing.
Oh yeah. I think Sonic Adventure 2 is where it originated, where you had the. Now I can't remember the two flavors. Isn't one of them pure Venom? That's the blue one. So there's Chaos Cola and Chaos Soda. I don't know. I love that it's a fake brand that has stuck around for so long because it's just, I don't know. And now I'm thinking like, imagine 20 years down the line, like for residents of Station Square, would that be like if you opened the freezer at your local bodega and there was a September 11th soda?
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's right. IDW did also introduce the limited edition Chaos Cola Extreme Berry Blast with 3 Z's.
Hell yes.
I am currently looking at a screenshot of Clutch from the IDW Comics handling Perfect Chaos Cola premium label, and it looks like whiskey. That's actually how they presented it, because you can't actually have them having booze, but, you know, I bet that one's got a bit of a kick to it.
It's like the milk in Majora's Mask. We all know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that if Kiryu went over to Sonic's World, they pour that over a big round ice block.
Oh, yes.
For him. Well, he sings Bakamita. I almost called it Dami Dane. Thank you, Internet.
I was about to point you out.
It's titty milk.
I mean, from somebody. I feel like it's got to be. I feel like it's got to be like a B-Star situation where just like, you know, people get compensated for their bodily products.
It's a
I try not to think about it.
Oh, I've got to think about it all day, every day.
Moving on, mint candy. That's a thing that was in the manuals that we didn't know about, and now we can't not know about it because that is getting referenced all the time now, much to the chagrin of even Tomato Dave. But that's fine. That's just Tails' favourite food. Not what I think of when I think of a fox's favourite food, but then, you know, hey, whatever. They're not really animals. It's fine.
There was a Sonic short about that.
Tails keeps a little pack of Tic Tacs in the tornado at all times.
Yeah. Here's how I like to think about it. I can't remember. Oh, I learned this trick in college to where you try and associate when you're trying to study for something. Like, oh, you know, get some hard candy and have a piece like while you're going over chapters you're about to be tested on. And then while you're taking the test, pop that into your mouth and it could potentially help you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Like a sense memory kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's logic, even if it's probably like a wives' tale. But that's how I like to think about like how Tails uses it. Like,
I mean, that's kind of how I am, because like sometimes I'll take something like, this reminds me of something specific from my past. Oh, wait, now I remember it in perfect clarity. I mean, not as much as when I smell something, but you know, that's the...
Yes. It's always just been a cute thing for Tails that's been picked up on now that, I don't know. I get how there's a lot of that in Sonic, especially with the like proper reunification of like all continuities. But it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, this was obscure thing in a Japanese manual, and now like everybody knows about it. But not ragging on Dave here, I'm ragging on other Sonic fans. And now anytime they're reminded of it, they're like, yeah, we know. I can't believe they're referencing it again. Like, just calm down.
You gotta give these characters something, to be fair. Because, you know, sometimes characters who aren't Sonic don't get much to work with. Just the way it is.
You don't see people complaining every time Amy eats like a strawberry tart or something, even though that's kind of her thing, I guess. No, it's all about the fortune cards. Oh my God, the fortune cards shut up. It's okay. Characters are allowed to do more than one thing.
The fortune cards are how we inevitably tied Amy Rose to Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, because they're all part of the same umbrella.
I mean, I would pay for that crossover.
Oh, hell yeah. Also grapes.
Yeah.
Because that's on the same topic as that sort of thing. It's ever since it was discovered that... The thing is, I feel like I always knew that Knuckles liked grapes. I feel like there's something I came up at one point.
I think it was on his, was it Sonic Jam profile?
I feel like me knowing Knuckles likes grapes has been ingrained for a long time in my mind.
I feel like that was like translated officially, like his grapes and his dislike of crowds was like Sonic Jam, Sonic Adventure era.
And then me being the bad Sonic fan, not knowing that he liked grapes until literally the Knuckles show on Paramount.
Well, they let you know he likes grapes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Also Cool Ranch Doritos. Hey, he's got something in common with Shadow. He likes Doritos. Oh, what flavor?
I also remember it being reinforced that Knuckles likes grapes from the fan game Sonic: The Quest for Knuckles.
Oh, man.
Which says how long that this has gone back to.
Yeah, was a known quantity where Mecha Knuckles insists he's the real Knuckles for liking grapes. I think, doesn't he say, like, oh, what sharp teeth you have, Knuckles. The better to eat grapes with. And then, of course, Forrest Gump calls him on the phone and says that's not the real Knuckles. Yes, that's the image I was looking for.
Yeah, I believe that is from Jam.
Oh, his weak point is girls. He's a shy guy.
Aw.
He's not wearing a mask.
Although it says fruit here, not grapes. Maybe that's...
Yeah, I think I was mixing up like some Sonic Adventure profile. Because, yeah, this says he dislikes strong sunshine. Because he digs holes. Back when they pretended
Back when he was
a
Mr. Mole.
Yeah.
By the way, do we know what kind of grapes it is? Because I know in the show, obviously, they go for those purple Concord grapes that you guys have all over the place. But we don't really have those very much over here. So, like, when I was a kid, I was thinking, oh, is it like white grapes, red grapes? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I always remember, like, growing up, it was just the not table grapes, the big, round ones. It was like the more oblong green ones, but I guess it's not specific. I think they're purple grapes in the background in Sonic Generations, but
They are, yes.
Begin to tell you a particular species. They're the low poly grapes from the Final Fantasy XIV before they updated it.
Oh, bless those grapes.
Those specific grapes are Knuckles' favorite.
As long as they're not the egg grapes.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Charmy, run!
Oh, no.
Oh, that's why he called them that, and then killed everyone he loved. Heard you like grapes, Knuckles? Guess what?
No! Yes, canonically, Knuckles' preferred type of grape is some variation of purple, as evidenced by the fact that it is in the Lego Angel Island sets.
True.
There we go. So there we go. That's the... Well, that was grape.
Speaking of soulless corporate fast food...
This is one that comes... I feel like this one has enough mileage within one very specific part of one very specific Sonic franchise, and that's Mare Burger. Which is pretty much just every fast food joint from every cynical cartoon of the time.
Arguably
it's just
worse.
like it is like the Krusty Burger of Sonic Boom.
Yeah, I'm looking it up to see exactly what's in a Med Burger. The standard Med Burger consists of a cooked patty served with lettuce, leaves, onions, and tomato slices inside a sliced bun. What appears to be a meat patty, though, is actually a patty made of shredded newspaper clippings, library paste, rat patooties within the legal limit, and up until recently, brown dyes. Occasionally, however, the patties do contain beef, but it's typically undercooked, providing a risk of foodborne illness. Other ingredients include pickles and a secret ingredient called mayonnaise, the last of which is the reason behind the Med Burger's deliciousness.
Oh, Lord. I assume the brown dye was banned in the European Union.
Yeah.
That's why they had to quit using it. I always thought Mad Burger was pretty funny just because, I don't know, I liked that it was like one of the only places in town that all of our main characters would hang out, because it was kind of that like, hey, where do you guys want to go? I don't know. You want to go to Mad Burger? Yeah.
It's like the ice cream shop that Arthur and his friends would go to and stuff like that.
You just need a place. I can't remember. I thought Sonic did occasionally eat chili dogs in Boom? Or
They
maybe
did, because they had an
Yeah.
entire episode where they did like the chili dog cook-off,
Oh, that's right.
where
yes.
Knuckles does the Braveheart thing with the talking chili peppers. That show was weird.
Yeah. I just thought I did enjoy Mad Burger just because, yeah, it was a funny, just cheapy restaurant that's also one of the only places to hang out in their goofy ass island town.
It's very, very funny about the fact that they are on this isolated island, God knows where, and they've still got a meh burger. I mean, yeah.
It's got a whole half a star.
Oh, wait, that's a smudge on the screen.
Sorry, I almost forgot we were going through these now. Just a little one because it's come up multiple times now. There's the evil cookies that were the ones from that one episode of Sonic Boom. And to be fair, there was like a running thing of like Eggman's calling all of his stuff evil, you know, the evil ham and all
Evil
that.
Ham still cracks me up.
I believe the ones in the show were the ones that took like DNA from other people and then you became them or something like that.
Yes.
It was don't know if I like having other people's DNA in my food. That's why I don't go to McDonald's.
Hey.
Well, I have cats, so in a way, their DNA gets into all of our food.
Yes. Yes. I'm preparing something in the kitchen. My cats are asleep in the other room, and still somehow the little bastard's hair ends up in my dish.
Just extra flavoring.
It gives it texture.
By the way, there's the Sundae Supreme. This one stands out because it's from Sonic Unleashed in that one scene where Chip is getting real into that shit.
Yeah.
I think you all remember that scene.
He doesn't even have a name yet.
Oh, you're right. He's just the little guy.
I'm not going to lie. It looks friggin' delicious.
I know. Where do you even get those, like, giant platformed waffle cones that guy serves it on?
Yeah.
It does look really good.
Well, apparently, I did not realize this, but the Sonic 25th Anniversary Cafe sold a real one of these.
Oh, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, that looks pretty good. Looks like a lot of... Oh, I can't tell. Are those peanuts or, like...
It looks more like
crisp
a parfait,
cereal.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like... I mean, it looks like it's got, vanilla ice cream, chocolate dipped bananas and strawberries, chocolate sprinkles, chocolate chips, whipped cream, waffle biscuit, chocolate coated pretzel, sugar cone, and Pocky all together in one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think the cereal is probably taking the place of the cone right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good practical version. I mean, we'll get to it. I really like the version in the Sonic Cookbook as well. It's a little more faithful to the in-game version.
I also really
And
appreciate
an edible
the,
chip.
Yeah, I was going to say the chip communion wafer.
I mean, if you think about it, he did die for our sins.
I know, blessed Gaia. Remember his sacrifice.
But man, I would love to have one of these.
Religious schism in Sonic's world, whether or not the chip communion wafer is transubstantiation.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, we're getting deep in that.
Either way, the communion wine is probably cola, so it's...
That image of Vector baptizing a Chow with Crystal Pepsi.
I think I found it.
Why is it always Sonic? What does the series do to people?
Oh,
Yo, seriously, what is wrong with us?
We don't have time to dissect that.
No, we don't. That's another episode.
we have to talk about donuts.
Quick answer. We've done over 70 episodes of a Sonic podcast.
Yeah, fair enough. Donuts, worth bringing up just because of, well, he's Tom Wachowski's the Donut Lord.
Yeah.
Donuts have done other things in Sonic, but that's where it comes to what I think of when I think of donuts in Sonic.
Donuts. Is there anything they can't do?
I love donuts, like just legitimately. I'm a big dumb hoe for donuts.
There's not really much discussion to be had about donuts now I think about it, but I just thought we'd pay it lip service. because
It's in
they
the movies.
exist in this world, but also in Sonic.
I mean, they really lay it on thick with the donut thing in Sonic 3 with Tom's donut sweater.
I love that sweater.
I know. Almost like that's only the vestigial reference to him being in law enforcement. Oh, yeah, Donut Lord.
They've just been glazing him this whole time. Okay, next up, Kropnik. Remember that from that one episode of Sonic Underground, where it was we don't know what it was. It looked like some sort of meat, I guess, maybe.
I was just going to say, I looked up Kropnik on Google, and it actually comes from a real Polish soup made of meat, veggies, and barley oats or something like that.
Oh, yeah, pearled barley, probably.
Yeah, pearl barley. There we go. I just found a recipe for it.
That's not what was in the show. It was just this weird thing that it was just a lump of pink.
Oh, I see how it is, Sonic Underground writers. You just picking on the poor Poles and their weird names for food. I don't appreciate that.
I don't appreciate Sonic Underground in general, so...
Oh, I appreciate it for the hilarity.
All right, so moving on from racism for now.
We've leveled up from sexism and gone into racism.
We've got to cover all the grounds, you know. We've got to cover all of the, I don't know.
The Sonic Undergrounds.
The Sonic
Which Sonic would be most racist? Number 1, Sonic Underground Sonic. He's a dirty royal who looks down upon the unclean masses.
No, that's it. Okay, I think I've reached the part of the list where I was starting to run out of ideas, but it was funny going on a certain wiki site and finding a whole article dedicated to apples. Because that's sort of up there with like acknowledging Sonic's first time using a camera in official canon. They had to put a whole article dedicated to the source of the original sin in Sonic's world, I'm assuming.
No,
has been added to the outline as seen in Martin Braid's Sonic Boom fan game from 1995.
Exactly.
Sonic's main weapon.
The mighty apple.
I mean, when I think of the apples, I immediately think of Sonic 06 and hitting the barrels that just blow apples everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Just launch them into the stratosphere to fall back down through the atmosphere of Earth.
Or just putting them on your Chow's head.
There you go.
The Chow crave objects to be shoved on top of their heads.
And Crystal Pepsi poured
It
on
is in their nature.
Enrichment. And then everything in Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, there's a lot of food in that game.
Hey, Sonic Unleashed, the most celebration of world cultures. Anti-racist game. Good for you, Sonic.
Yay.
Particular shout out to the canned horror where if you give it to Chip, he just starts swearing. That's not even a joke.
Yep, it's right there in the wiki.
Oh, canned horror. Okay.
Oh, yes, horror.
Tiny but potent fermented fish.
I'm very much... I literally do live a philosophy as I will try anything once. Like, whatever. If you've got it, I'll put it in my mouth.
And that is going to be quoted for the rest of time.
GameBuddy 2024.
Good. That's my motto for 2025. Happy New Year.
How many items do we have here on this list? 'Cause it's a lot.
Jeez. There are a lot, and like they all do, grant you different levels of experience and stuff. In my case, it is I would always like find the cheapest one and then find where I could resell it for
to make a slight profit.
Exactly.
And the game doesn't keep track of how many you've fed Chip. So if you're trying to get that achievement, you're like, oh, I guess I'll just buy them all again. Eat them. Open up, you little purple chihuahua.
Hey, that is our Lord and Savior you're discussing on the podcast.
Take your communion cracker.
Again, do you think like some people are like upset with Sonic where he's basically like, oh yeah, I hung out with God for a while. Nice guy. He gave me this. And they're like, the holy artifact.
Counting them up, including all of the time trial chili dogs, it looks like there are, I want to say, 52 different food items.
Yummy.
One for each week of the year.
A whole restaurant on this, this stuff.
Or a
and they
whole
got donuts too.
Yay.
Oh, hey.
Man, if you were insane and had unlimited free time and income, you could do like a I'm making one recipe from Sonic Unleashed every week for a year.
Yep.
Hey, somebody wants to fund that for me, get in touch.
All right.
I mean, some of them are just, a single food item. So, for my meal this week, it's a lemon.
Yay!
This week I'm having a sandwich, and next week I'm having sandwich?
Yeah, sandwich with a question mark.
And that about covers all. I'm sure there are loads of other things within Sonic's world that you could talk about that are food related. And I don't know if anyone else here has any, but if you in the audience feel like we've missed out an important Sonic food product that exists within the world of Sonic, no matter which continuity, then be sure to let us know in the comments that we fucked up again.
Yay!
Anyway, that's fiction. Let's get into the real world. We're getting to the real shit with the real life refreshments. And we're so when we enter the dimension of our own reality, oh no, oh god, oh, I don't like that, where Sonic-related food products have been sold. And honestly, I've pulled through at least one or two articles that someone has already done, like their quote-unquote exhaustive list of Sonic food products that have been sold across the world, but there are more. There's always more.
There's
because they always want to
more.
slap Sonic's face on things and then make you eat them.
If Sonic's face on it, I'll put it in my mouth.
Yes. I would say whatever helps someone get a nutritious diet, but most of this is, I wouldn't exactly say is nutritious.
Probably not, but that's fine. That kind of fills in Sonic's vibe, you know?
Yeah. I mean, hey, everything in moderation, folks. I'm not here to contribute to horrendous diet culture.
Sonic branded kombucha.
I've seen some blue kombucha before.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Blueberries and whatnot. Now with probiotics. They're good for your gut flora. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
As a fast-moving hedgehog, I'm all about movement. That's why I use kombucha every day.
Combined with my high fibrous diet, I
Gotta go fast.
no. Fast but clean.
No wiping needed. I'm sorry.
Anyway, food from that topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the first on the list that we've got, like, we can't go through every single item of Sonic food that's been released.
No.
It's that we don't have time to do any of this, but we're still doing it.
Quite frankly, desire to go through every single one.
Yeah, a lot of them are just like existing snacks in a Sonic package, which is fine and cute, but I feel like the ones you've picked from the list are the more like Sonic unique ones.
Yeah.
Well, the first one actually Luke picked out because I forgot about it completely, so whoops.
Yay!
But it's technically a game, but also you do get food out of it. And we've discussed it before on the arcade episode, but it's been a while. The Sonic Popcorn Shop popcorn.
Yay!
Hooray!
Comes in butter, salt, and is it chili? Are those the flavors?
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I think this was a whole discussion. I think even in the encyclopedia points out that different markets had different flavors. Like I thought it was salt and pepper. I thought there was a caramel drizzle on one. And then, yeah, like chili powder. I know there are videos up on YouTube if you like dive into like second and third pages of search results of people using these.
I like the idea. Play a little Sonic game of sorts and get your popcorn.
Yep. Keep
probably delicious.
Isn't it Sonic and Tails running on the conveyor belt from Eggman with his giant hammer trying to kill them?
Yep.
Gotta save your popcorn from that nasty doctor.
He's gonna put eggs in it.
Oh no. Well, have people done that? I feel that's a thing that's probably happened at this point of society. Someone's probably got some sort of egg popcorn. And I know there's an egg corn recipe, but we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you could. I want to say you could just freeze-dried hard-boiled eggs, and then you got some egg powder. Maybe mix a little MSG in there. That might be nice and savory. Maybe. I don't know. Egg popcorn.
I can get behind it.
Starting off, we're spending a little more time in Japan because there's quite a lot of specific Japanese-based products. We can't go through them all, but the one that stands out to me is the Joypolis Originals, and I didn't know what these were at first. You cannot tell from this very blurry image of them, but these are in fact candied coffee beans. So, if you're going to Joypolis, and, well, we all know what the dream is for that, you can eat these official Sonic coffee beans. Came out long before we discovered that's a thing that Shadow likes to eat, apparently. Just straight, though.
I like the word balloon in this middle one that is just, some nice stock art of Sonic at the time, but it looks like he's screaming, Omaki Suki! I can't make out the last few characters, but it looks like several exclamation points. So
Yeah.
He's super excited.
Good for him. Okay, next on the list, it's Sonic Jam!
Yay!
Literally, though, and we did discuss this on the one episode, I'm pretty sure, when we did cover the compilations, but yes, they brought out some actual Sonic Jams to tie in with the release of Sonic Jam, even as the logo and the character art and everything. Although, technically speaking, Tails is a marmalade, so that's not quite the same. Orange marmalade, strawberry jam for Knuckles, and of course blueberry for Sonic.
What's the difference between a jam and a marmalade?
Mostly, I think they just do that for citrus ones. That's about it. It really is just basically a preserve, so it doesn't matter either way. But if we're being really fussy about it, and I will, and I'm sure Paddington Bear will as well.
In Peru.
I think I was going to ask the same question, and now I think it's just mincing words. I think most marmalades are called preserves over here. Because I think, at least I'm thinking of the grocery shelf, there's also very few, jams and jellies.
Yeah.
And I think most of the stuff we get over here is just straight up preserves. But I think it's all the same stuff.
Yeah, it's all preserves. I don't know if any of these... if you picked up one of these, it would be well preserved, though. Do not fight the temptation if you find one of these on eBay. You might die.
No. Even if it's sealed. No, something about these beautifully bright color matching containers are really activating my monkey brain neurons. I just want to hold these in my hands. Maybe it's that big orange tails against the yellow background back when he was full of carotene.
Aw, I would love to pump a cannon full of these and have them fire at my toast and make it really cracking toast from it. Oh boy, this is a fun one. It's the No, that's not how you say that word. Rinchan Ramen, the Love Life crossover that everyone was asking for. There's a Love Life character.
I do seem to remember this era where idol girls and girls that like playing golf would hug this very particular Sonic plushie.
Correct.
I guess this counts as a tie-in? Sure, why not?
They did do other things, but that's the one that stands out to me because of the alliteration. By the way, while we're still in Japan, might as well talk about, you all know it, everyone knows it, it's a joke at this point, it's the Sonic Blue Curry.
Yay!
Released in
I still want to get that someday.
In the box that's just like the Japanese box, and you can feasibly shape it the way that they've shown that you can, but
good luck.
Yeah.
You can make it look like Sonic's face, but yes. Yeah, it's not the most appetizing looking thing, but I'm sure you can eat it once.
I would actually be interested in seeing like the ingredients and where they got that blue tint from. Because I know where they would get it in America, whatever, cancer-causing blue dye they have on the shelf.
No, I don't know where that blue tint comes from, but I know where it ends up after you eat this.
I was about there ain't no words around it. It turns your BMs that beautiful Sonic blue for several days.
You eat it once and you see it twice.
This is their idea of what Sonic's favourite food would be in Japan. And to be fair, they love their curry there.
They do.
I do love curries. I just don't know if it's Sonic. I probably would. Anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, try anything once. Even the Sonic blue curry.
Also, I can't believe
Wouldn't be the first time I had a blue BM.
that's a story for another time. I can't believe I didn't start this by saying, "What's the matter, babe? You haven't touched yours."
First date ideas for the average Sonic fan.
Yeah. Just want to point out Okay, so where was this one released? I feel like
This is an American one.
Outside of this is an American one. We've gotten out of Japan.
Not only that, I had this Sonic bubblegum container, but I never had the back of it. So I had a naked, spineless Sonic figure that was my only Sonic toy for a long time.
That's exactly why I had to bring this up on the podcast, because I know you had a personal connection with this guy.
He just did not have any hair, which, looking at it, I guess is a plastic piece, so it probably was fairly durable, but nope, I didn't have it, so I played with bald Sonic like he was my best friend.
Well, for those in the listening audience who don't know what we're talking about, it's a nice little statue of Sonic, a plastic statue of Sonic that you can shove bubblegum into, like very specific bubblegum.
Yes, I can't tell looking at this. I wonder if it was chiclets or a chiclet-like gum.
Yeah.
slightly candy-coated pieces of flavorless bubblegum. Well, there you go. It's cool. I like the statue, though. That's the best part of it. Yeah, it's a pretty decent-looking Sonic figure. I mean, for trying to make a three-dimensional view of all sides Sonic. Oh, it's Christmas tree Sonic there, but it's fine. I like that the package seems to be one of the in-between frames from the Sonic 1 logo. See how his eyes are all perky? Oh, yeah, you're right. What a cool just little tidbit. But he looks like he's wearing a blue muffler around his neck, so that's a bit odd. I think it does trying to interpret that. Anyway, bubblegum. All right, so it's time to talk about the Sonic Mania Lifesavers, because you'd think it was recent from that title, but no, these guys were during, because Sonic Mania actually came from a certain it was like a promotional thing they were doing in Japan when they released Sonic CD, Sonic Spinball, and Sonic Chaos and the Game Gear all at the same time, right? It was Sonic Mania Day, the day before my birthday in '93, November 23rd, and to celebrate, there's some Sonic 3 Lifesavers, which are basically like what we call polos over here, but I think these were fruity ones by the look of it. Yep. They got hot rings. Uh-oh. That's what you get when you eat the Sonic curry. I was going to say that I think I remember getting the standard Lifesavers, which is the 5 fruity flavors. I don't think I ever got the hot rings because I'm assuming there's nothing on the package. I'm assuming they're cinnamon flavored, and I've never liked cinnamon candy very much. Fair enough. I remember Knuckles gummy savers too. The Knuckles one's a 5 flavor. What does 5 taste like?
It's a Knuckles sandwich.
Chinese 5 spice. Oh, there you go. No, I think it was the standard fake candy fruit flavors. So probably cherry, lemon, lime, orange, purple. Purple. Color flavor purple. Oh, I know. Well. That's one of those. Who are they trying to kid? That is purple flavor. That is not any kind of grape. I'm sorry. Lifesaver. Sorry, forever now, thanks to the internet, I'm always going to think of Ryan, you're a lifesaver. Oh, yeah, baby.
Man, what a bunch of jokers.
Ha! Child's play.
That's for all the Zenplay Chronicles fans out there.
I feel seen.
Water.
The next one on our list, I think I had, but I more remember because the commercial for it has lived rent-free in my brain for 30 years.
Oh, I definitely had the Franco-American Sonic canned pasta, both the classic and modern variants when they were out. Yeah, there they are. There's the little Sonic Adventure ones and the classic. That's great. That advert, though, man. Sorry, commercial, I guess. Now, we can say it both ways here. Ad. That ad. That is... Okay, I've watched that. How do we describe it to the listening audience? Because it's hard to portray it in the little TV screen on the YouTube. Let me see. I think it's a child enthusiastically playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And this is all from memory, folks.
I think he's on near the end of Mushroom Hill, and his mother is screaming from the room to come eat his lunch. And then
There it is.
instead of getting up, she chunks this can of pasta at him, and it lands in his Sega Genesis.
No,
It's
he
an
catches
American
it in midair
commercial.
and is just like, food.
Okay. Yes. And then puts it into the specialized 32X looking adapter in his
yeah,
Genesis.
you didn't have a
and it's-
pasta adapter for your Genesis?
I think I said before, I need somebody to 3D print this into a real object. So,
Oh, he sucks that stuff up right from the screen.
Yep.
yeah, it comes out of the screen like Terminator 2.
Oh, that's interesting. What were the shapes like on these things?
They had the ring. They had the SpaghettiO style rings, but they also had Sonic face, Tails face, and Robotnik face.
Okay.
And they all look suspiciously like they're based off of Adventures of Sonic art, or the like clip art, American Sonic clip art at the time. You can tell by Tails' hair and Eggman's long egg-like face. And I want to say that the Sonic Adventure tie-in was mostly the same, except on the back of the can near the nutritional facts was an ad for subscribing to the Archie comics.
No, to be honest, like I feel like there was always like pasta shapes of things that we liked when we were growing up. Even over here, we had that whole thing, which we'll get to. Yeah, there's something about just like, yeah, we can make a shape that vaguely resembles the characters that you like, maybe, and put it in tomato sauce, and there you go. Hey, Jake, did you ever try these?
No, I never got a chance to try these. I think I remember seeing the ads for these later on, but I think this was like right before I started to become like a Sonic fan and started to have like the Sonic consciousness. So I never got to try these, and I always wish I could have.
Well, not to ruin the magic, but if you go to your local supermarket right now and pick up whatever current licensed SpaghettiOs pasta they have, that's what it tasted like.
No way.
It didn't look like Sonic, so... And I kind of question whether it looks like Sonic here anyway, but whatever.
Just get a standard, can of SpaghettiOs. You'll just be like, oh yeah, rings.
Exactly. Just like my hero, Sonic.
Rings! Nom 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 nom.
And meatballs, like when Sonic rolls into a ball.
Yeah, that's how they make it work. Anyway, moving on to something where I think a lot of people might have tried. I haven't, because we haven't got it over here. But we've all seen it. It's this Blue
Yes.
Bunny's iconic creation, the Sonic ice cream bar.
This is something I've had plenty of.
This thing has been around since, just judging on the original packaging, like at least the mid-90s. And from what I understand is still sold to this day.
Yeah, I have seen it still sold at, some of like the local ice cream places.
You can tell like from the original packaging, there was a Sonic Extreme tie-in packaging, which woof, we've talked about that. There's the Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic X, Sonic Advance era Sonic, and now the modern Sonic that we all know today with the Blue Bunny logo on there.
Most of these we see how it's supposed to look, where Sonic eyes are generally supposed to look, but everyone will associate with the last image we have in front of us, where Google-eyed Sonic, Goggle-eyed, whatever you want to call it, eyes all about the place.
They are definitely akimbo. I remember. I'm pretty sure everyone I've got, they were at least a little wonky. And I'm kind of worried because I just saw something. It was it might have been the SpongeBob ice cream, which is, of course, comprised the same. Got rid of the gumball eyeballs. I wonder for maybe choking hazard. Who knows? Oh man, what are we going to do if they come out with a Sonic ice cream that just has perfectly printed on eyes and not silly gumballs? Please don't.
It wouldn't be the same.
Interesting that he's a lighter blue, though. Kind of looks like Sonic 1 Sonic and classic Sonic as he is portrayed now. I guess that's the only color they could work with.
Yeah, the only major change is they changed the gumballs to green instead of the either it looks like black or maybe purple of the original, because Sonic and his green peepers.
It's an important part of Sonic's legacy now, just like the Spider-Man one. So much so they acknowledge that in Spider-Verse. I always love that.
The Spider-Man ice cream.
I think the first time that I had this ice cream pop, I did wonder why Sonic's face looked like that, but now, of course, it's extremely endearing, and as a 34-year-old man, I will run down an ice cream truck if I see one just to get one.
Oh, yeah. And I remember them being pretty tasty for prepackaged popsicle snacks. It's like soft, almost like sherbet consistency, and I want to say it's like blue raspberry.
Yeah, I was going to say blue raspberry.
It's pretty good.
Of course it's blue raspberry. You guys love that stuff.
Yes. Speaking of flavors not in nature that we just pretend are fruit.
Like I may have to see if I can find another one at like the ice cream place near me. Most of them are closed until February, but
God, I want to get one and put it in a vacuum sealed bag and just have it live in my freezer forever.
Well, funny you say that, because I literally have the next thing on our list sitting in my refrigerator where it has been for the last 7-8 years.
Oh my gosh.
I refuse to open it because I'm sure if I do, it'll unleash some sort of horrible curse. So I just use it. So now I just use it as a prop, basically.
I'm almost 100% certain I've had this, and this is the Sonic Speed energy drink that I swear these just started popping up in like used game shops and various like nerdy curio places, and I think it's the same like Red Bull ripoff liquid, just in different cans with different characters, because I've seen everything from Sonic to like Resident Evil like herb mix energy drink to like a Gretzko energy drink. And as someone who does still occasionally partake in energy drinks to keep me conscious during the day, I remember this not being a good one.
Oh, no. And I'm glad I never opened mine.
Yes, it is best served as a prop and a punchline for future endeavors.
Like, on the topic of Sonic energy drinks, I'm looking up on one of my like shelvings up in my room right now, and I remembered a friend of mine got me from like the Walgreens that he works at a Sonic G Fuel energy drink.
Oh yeah,
and I don't drink energy drinks, so I just have it up there as a prop as well.
I have one of those left too. I think it's the original flavor was Sonic Peach Rings, and it's so much better in the carbonated can. Thought it was quite good. Unfortunately, even though I bought the limited edition pack that came with the powder, like a shaker cup, before I knew G Fuel was kind of a cheap company that puts lead in their drinks.
Ew.
Anyway, because of the way they get their energy, which from like green coffee beans and green tea, that shit gives me the shake something bad. So
I'm going to say
it has also been regulated to a prop on my shelf.
Any of these are like the things where I'm like, I cannot have that. I will probably have a serious problem with it and maybe die. Energy drinks in general are things I'm like, I can't anymore. I was so bad I couldn't have coffee for a while, man. Like, I realized I was going too hard.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel you, because like I have to be careful with my caffeine intake, otherwise I will have a panic attack. Just because of too much caffeine. And it doesn't take much. So.
I'm sorry, I can laugh at it now, but I remember like chugging energy drinks and coffee in the morning and then ending up at the store later, and it's like 2 p.m. and I'm wondering why I'm sweating through my clothes and feeling like the walls are closing in on me.
Can't imagine why.
Drugs are crazy, man. Caffeine's a drug.
It's cool
Sonic
that
Speed.
let you buy these.
Hey, that's good old US of A. You know those Celsius drinks everyone drinks? It's got 300 milligrams of caffeine, but only in America.
Cool.
Anyway, save us, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, please, Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, it's cereal time. There's the Sega Forever Gold Ring cereal. It's Cheerios, basically. There it is.
Whole grain gaming fortified with delicious video game nostalgia.
Oh, they're just saying it.
Yeah.
I like the keyring inside.
It looks like a little Mega Drive or Genesis, maybe. And
It's a Mega Drive 1.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's that old Sonic.
I mean, that's what you do, right? Like, you do the gold ring, so you just do Cheerios.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
It's easy.
even in the more recent cereal, they still did that. Now, it didn't taste any good, but they did it. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because it's the next thing on our list, and you did test it
Live on the
show.
podcast.
Yes. It was, I mean, not the worst, but also not very good. Would not go out of my way to
General
seek it
Mills,
out
by
again.
the way, Sonic cereal Jeremy is talking about, but if you were there for
It's
it,
just
it's
called
like, yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, it's just Sonic the Hedgehog.
I think it
Get your
was
Sonic
it
Hedgehog in
our
a box.
Sonic 2 episode? Man, they got stuff out there, not even on this list for Sonic 3. I should have gotten the Sonido Rice Krispie treats that are literally Sonic and Shadow blue and red sprinkles on the Rice Krispie treats. The other thing I've got was, I think it is also, oh no, these are Betty Crocker that are Sonic, I've got them right up here, hold on.
Oh.
I've already tasted these, but it's Sonic the Hedgehog fruit-flavored snacks, and you've got
Oh yeah.
different shapes. There's a grape shadow, an orange tails, a blue raspberry Sonic, a lime chaos emerald, a cherry Knuckles, another blue Sonic, and whatever lemon rings. And they're pretty good. But again, it's like the pasta where it's like, well, if you want to know how they taste, just go buy whatever other licensed tie-in they have right now. They taste like fruit snacks.
Yep.
Can I know it's not on our list, but can I make a mention of something I saw on this Fanbite list real
Feel
quick?
free.
Please.
I'm a big fan of Jones Soda, and I just saw on this list that there was Sonic Mania tie-in Jones Sodas.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is super cool. And at first I was just like, wait, was this available in stores? And I missed it. But then I see it says these are con exclusives and there's part of a giveaway.
Very limited release, unfortunately.
Yeah. But apparently the giveaway was like you had a chance to win the collector's edition of Sonic Mania, an Xbox One S, and a year's supply of Jones Soda. Sonic was bubblegum soda. I got to zoom in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Knuckles was cherry lime soda, and
Okay.
and Tails was cream soda. It looks like, I don't know if it's orange cream or just regular cream, but nice.
Oh, okay.
I love Jones cream soda.
I do like that though. It does have that vibe of the Sonic Jam a little bit, so it's color coded for each character. Oh, that's nice.
Neon colors.
Speaking of stuff I have occasionally seen in my local grocery store, I recently saw some of those good to grow, like healthy snacks and juices that have like licensed character toppers
Yeah,
and
I've seen
stuff,
those.
and Sonic is among them.
I've seen.
Sorry, these heads.
I have all three of the juice ones on my shelf right next to me.
I think there's also a Knuckles one.
Yeah, there's a Knuckles snack top too that again is, sorry audio listeners, to describe the packaging, it is basically hey, it's very similar to the Sonic Man hat from our when we were talking about the British Sonic X tie-in ones. It looks like the characters have had their tops of their heads chopped off with a guillotine and placed on this reusable container of snacks. And I haven't seen these ones that's like it looks like a bottle figure, like from collectible toys in Japan, the Resident Evil 4 collectible bottle caps.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean they are super cute though. Like,
Yeah, they look well made.
If you've ever seen the whole aisle of these where it's like Sonic and My Little Pony and now Bluey, and it's whatever them little kids like, but right up little kid me's alley where I would be like, oh, can I get the Sonic juice? It's good for me.
Hey, Ian Flynn, when are we going to get that Sonic and Bluey crossover?
We've got enough blue in there already. But speaking of things we already talked about, the Sonic IHOP menu again.
Yep.
Yay!
Oh, I never got to have
Me
this.
neither.
I mean, it was pretty good. And just to reiterate, I don't get out much, but I thought it was pretty good.
Which one did you get
I
again?
got the Sonics. I got the Sonics Blue Blur Special, the blueberry pancakes with the blueberry sauce, and the Knuckles chicken sandwich.
Okay.
because I remember not eating anything that day and was quite hungry.
Yep.
But it was really good. I mean, I know it's IHOP, but all the ingredients were fresh, even the tomatoes.
You know what? I'll give it up to IHOP for this. They make gluten-free pancakes, which is great for my wife.
Ooh, yes, that is good.
Excellent. Less good is the fact that this garbage exists.
Ooh, Funko. That is the one thing that bothered me from this article is they bring up the Sonic Funko Pez. I have the normal classic Sonic Pez right up here that I got for like $1.50 somewhere. That is not this soulless, godless abomination of a Funko Pop. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I know there are people that like these things. I'm not one of them. I think someday Funko as a company will be judged for their sins.
Oh, but they brought out an Omega one that looked halfway good because he already has beady eyes, so it's fine.
I know it's one of those designs that would be hard to screw up in a little plastic figurine.
Hard, but not impossible.
Let's talk about Sonic Daddies instead.
We're going to the UK, everyone. We had a few things. This is back in the 90s. I had this as a kid. It's Daddies. Daddies is an actual brand of ketchup that we had over here, and it was a go-to for my household, I think. But then they brought out Sonic ones, and it looked weird.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I also, if you've never heard of Daddy's ketchup, you need to know that it's not, the name is not possessive. This is like ketchup. I don't know. Is it manufactured by daddies? Like a bunch of daddies in the factory? Okay.
Multiple daddies. No, it's not daddy's ketchup. It's just daddy's ketchup.
Yeah.
By the way, just so you know, the ketchup is still red inside, but the bottle is very blue. Sonic is doing multiple expressions on each of these variations. He looks very grumpy in one of them. That's why I recognize from my Sonic in the UK specifically. Yeah, I just remember getting this and being really happy because I don't know if I liked ketchup. I was a child.
Oh yeah. I'll still mess with some ketchup occasionally. I was going to say, just looking at the bottle, I mean, looks like pretty good ketchup.
Well, I was also going to say, looking at
the ingredients on the back.
Looking at the bottle, I want like a silly fan game where all the characters are in this form factor that you can play with.
I know. Hey, we need Sonic Shadow Generations more skins. I want to play as the Daddy's tomato ketchup Sonic the Hedgehog bottle.
So you made me look at the tomato, sugar, spirit vinegar, salt, mono. Yep, not a single, no high fructose corn syrup in this guy.
Oh, that's good.
No.
It would be nice, but I do imagine it's got that sort of, I'm going to use the correct term, I suppose, well, I'm not sure if it's the correct term, but it has that slight bit of water that comes out the top. I'm not going to be disgusting about it when I describe tomato water when you squeeze it out.
Uh-huh. Before we had semi-solved that problem with modern packaging. Everybody knows that when you're getting ready for just you think you're going to have a good time, and then you turn the thing over and just you're soaked and you weren't expecting it, and all right, I'm stopped.
So wait, so
being soaked when you weren't expecting it is kind of par for the course for Sonic.
So wait, hold on.
If your fandom is deep enough.
Wait, so modern ketchup packaging, like the whole tomato water at the top has been solved? Like that's not a thing anymore?
Kind of. I mean, if you look at a modern Heinz bottle, instead of, it has how do I describe this valve and not use the phrase like a butthole? It's like a one-way valve, like a heart valve. It's like a one-way valve that encourages you to shake it to not only get the water, because the bottles are upside down now. You've seen the plastic ones.
Yeah.
It encourages you to shake it to mix that water up, but also has the one-way valve so it doesn't, they do the same thing with mustard so it doesn't get crust on it. Okay. So yes, I would say they've attempted to solve it. It doesn't always work. Okay,
because I always shake a ketchup bottle before I use it. Like even if I just use it like a minute ago, I'll still shake it up.
I feel like you gotta just to let it know.
I've been hurt. I've been hurt in the past.
By the way, here's just a 4-litre bottle of Daddy's tomato ketchup. If you want a big daddy on your table. By the way, we got pasta over here. It was HP Sonic pasta. Yeah,
And there was a lot of it.
quite a bit actually. I'm trying to remember what all of these are because that's just pasta shapes as you'd expect. It's got a little Sally Acorn on it.
Yeah.
Literally called Sally Acorn on there.
Yeah,
so,
the Sally Acorn was specifically on the back of the toffee flavored bite-sized biscuits.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that one.
Well, there's this pasta shaped labeled as Sally Acorn, but is that a Sally Acorn or is that Tails?
No, that is a Bible accurate Sally Acorn.
Okay, I think you're right because there is a little there is a little dissonance because it is obviously Marble Zone from Sonic 1, but also Tails is there. Man, these are some intricate shapes.
I actually forgot. Sorry, I was just looking at the biscuits. There is another. Yeah, you mentioned those biscuits. That's like early design Sally on there. That's weird.
Yeah, that's Pink
UK
Sally
stuff. Oh, okay. But no, we're talking about the biblically accurate Sally Acorn on these pasta.
From the Bible.
Yeah, from the Bible.
That says the Bible.
Yeah, I also have to shout out, like, it's not super Sonic tied in, but these Kellogg's Frosties, or Frosted Flakes as we know them, that came with little Sonic yo-yos as their free packaging thing.
Oh,
God,
wow.
until this came up on Sonic the Comic the podcast, I forgot. I had one of these, I'm pretty sure. I had the Sonic one. And it's just a little yo-yo. But it's got Sonic on it, and he's in a little spin attack pose, so it looks great.
Imagine getting like a box of Frosted Flakes, like to hopefully get one of these, and then you end up with the Tony the Tiger yo-yo.
Sonic Milk Ice with Shock Rocks from New Zealand and Australia, I believe.
Yes.
Noteworthy, not necessarily because of the little ice cream bar that it is, but because of this advert.
The
the
saw-like torture that they inflict upon a Set AM Robotnik, where they
it is a Cyan Robotnik, but like weirdly game accurate Sonic and Tails here.
they painfully screw light bulbs into his ears and then feed him this shocking snack, and it lights them up and makes his skeleton appear.
And we don't know why. I mean, we know Robotnik's bad, but they're just doing this for no reason to him.
I mean, I get they're just rubbing it in. They're like, they have defeated him. He is tied up. I mean, and it's time to enact revenge. He will feel a modicum of the pain he has inflicted upon the planet Mobius.
It's fucked up, really.
Yeah, you turned around and there's a camera crew. They're broadcasting this to the entire kingdom. They finally just put him out of his misery.
Ice cream bar doesn't look so bad, though.
Yeah, the ice cream bar is probably good. I'm not necessarily one to go for, like Pop Rocks or Shock Rocks on my ice cream. I don't know if that would necessarily be the best flavor profile.
Just always comes across as kind of gimmicky.
We got a commercial featuring, almost certainly illegal and unethical torture to see what's on it. And sometimes that's enough.
Some family-friendly torture.
Yep, like Sonic always says, sometimes he's willing to play the bad guy. God.
So you can't bring up family-friendly torture without me thinking of Sorcerer Lance right now, so...
Yeah, we gotta, that's more or less the entire list. All the interesting ones we found on our list of real life Sonic foods. There are a lot more of them, but this episode can only be so long. But we need to talk about the big one, by which I mean one book to rule them all, containing all manner of Sonic related recipes.
Oh, that one Archie comic that printed out the chili.
Yeah.
No, I think we're talking about... Oh, that's right. I actually wrote this list. Okay, it's the Sonic the Hedgehog official cookbook, everyone. I have a physical copy right here. Yay!
I do too.
So yeah, you guys are going to have to really go in depth on this thing because I'm the only one here who does not own a copy.
Right, yeah, sorry about that. It's one of those things where it's a physical media, everyone. You're going to find out a lot about it if you buy one for yourself. I knocked something over. Whoops, that's fine. But this is a remarkable thing, by the way. There have been multiple video game cookbooks that have been released, and many of them were written by Victoria Rosenthal, who is one half of the creators behind this, and I'm pretty sure, and Ian Flynn as well, who's just there to Sonic everything up, I suppose.
And it's quite charming. I love the introduction from Sonic himself, and I even love, like, everything has a little bit of a Sonic flavor. Like, even in the beginning, there is a guide to ingredients and substitutions, but it is written in character from Omo Chow. And so even like simple stuff just feels right at home. Like, I love, I usually really like tie-in cookbooks, or let me rephrase that. I'm always hesitant to get like official tie-in cookbooks because often it'll be for a franchise that is maybe not conducive for cooking. Like, and I think it might be a Rosenthal collaboration. And I mean, she does a great job with the photography, coming up with the recipes, but like the official Fallout cookbook has a lot of incredibly fancy spins on like Fallout cooking, and as much as I'm sure it's delicious, when I think Fallout, I think like, no, give me like the trash chili cooked in a radiated whatever, or like the Halo cookbook. And sometimes the stuff will just be too complicated for the average person. Like, there are some hard to find ingredients in the Sonic cookbook, and I think maybe one or two recipes calls for a stand mixer, which isn't a crazy item to have, but it is quite expensive if you are a chef on a budget like I usually am. But I was very impressed with the majority of these recipes being very accessible, and I love that the fanciest, most complicated recipes are specifically relegated to Rouge, who admits that she has fancy taste for the good things in life. So very fitting, very appropriate.
Yeah, it's really it's really well thought out, this book. It is great, especially if you're American and you can get half of these ingredients. No, I'm just kidding. It is like there you can swap things out. I'm fairly certain they do give you some guides at the beginning, as Jeremy pointed out. It all looks really nice, really.
Yeah.
It does use a lot of Sonic stock art, but that's fine. You can only so much Sonic you can draw, so much Sonic art you can use for this many pages.
Yeah, it's at least some like there are some rarely seen renders, like this forward facing Amy, and the breakfast section is a fairly I feel like you don't see that a lot.
It'd take too long to cover everything in this book, and also giving away the whole cookbook.
Oh yeah, no.
For everyone who doesn't want to buy this.
We're just gonna read out as an audiobook style in character. No, but I do love some of the running gags. Like, I love that, especially before the book came out, they put up some sample pages, and one of them was the perfect Sonic chili dog. But then the actual recipe is like, make a hot dog and put the chili, which is a separate recipe on there.
That's how they get you.
Yes. Which I guess we'll say this here. We hope to have them potentially done by the time this episode comes out, but me and Jake have decided to take several recipes from this book and film our own little like cooking videos to tie into this episode, just for fun. And the fact that, hey, we both like to cook and have taken this burden upon us to do the Sonic the Hedgehog cookbook justice.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I don't know if I want to spoil too much about my planned menu, but I'm going to do some Sonic recipes, if you catch my drift.
Sonic drift.
Hey, that's a video game.
I've got 2 or 3 recipes from the book that I want to try as well.
The book, like we said, very charming, it's just a pretty coffee table book too. Nice hardcover.
Oh yeah.
I love as we've got listed too, almost every character you can imagine gets several entries in here. And I love that Charmy Bees are all basically called the same thing and are all completely packed with unhealthy amounts of sugar and honey and other confections. Charmy's sweet treat. Hi diddly ho.
And of course we have the burrito blasts for Shadow.
Oh hell yeah, these are
Yep.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
I think this was the first one I made, and they are quite tasty. I like the addition. There are several meat-based dishes in here that used ground coffee as part of the seasoning, and it does add a very unique flavor and texture to it. But yes, this, man, it's so. And I mean, there's even a part, no spoilers, but in the new Sonic movie where you're like, wow, that Shadow the Hedgehog really does love Latinas, doesn't he?
I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, they did it.
Oh, by the way, also worth noting that Tangle and Whisper get a recipe or two in here, so, you know,
Yes.
tying things to the other print media, it's pretty cool.
So does Maureen the raccoon.
Yeah.
She's still alive.
Somewhere.
She's just living her best life.
She's in Blaze's Australian kingdom.
There are various interpretations, shall we say, of the egg shop delights that you get in Sonic Unleashed. Like the infamous egg dog, but this one looks edible. It just depends on how you feel about egg salad, I suppose.
It does look, well, they do specify you should use Japanese mayonnaise, which I also agree that is the best any kind of salad ingredient, egg salad, chicken salad. Yeah, this seems pretty tasty, actually. I love one of the last one is the Eggman's evil cookies, but the recipe has been highly revised by Amy Rose herself to remove the evil ingredients. I like the you almost glance right over the what actually makes them evil cookies is because you're supposed to make half a batch with chocolate chips and another half with chocolate covered raisins, which
That would be good.
depending on your thoughts of raisins and cookies could be some kind of evil cookie, but I thought that was quite funny.
Jackie would hate them so much. It would be great.
Yeah.
We did talk about the chili dog, but it is worth noting that the signature chili is a very fancy looking recipe. Actually, you need to get some real specific chilies. I mean, I suppose you don't have to. You can pick and choose your own ones, but
Yeah, you can make substitutions. It did give me an excuse to go to my local Latino grocer and found exactly what I needed.
Oh, cool.
And it just use cooking as a a way to not only practice a good life skill, but like get yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Use some crazy ingredients you never would have thought of before.
I really appreciate that they, like the titles of all the recipes, they really try to tie in with like which character is delivering the recipe, even if it's stuff that we already know. Like in the salad section, Vector's got something called a simple deduction, which is just a caprese salad.
Yeah.
But I love a caprese salad, so I'll go ham on that.
I really like that the various characters also have like underlying themes. Like Vector's are a lot of like simple existing recipes. Like I think he also has a soup that boils down to it's just ramen noodles with fancy toppings on it. I think it's called When the Flatfoot is Broke. And like we mentioned, Rouge's recipes are all very fancy. Even her sparkling cocktail is like some wonderful like pomegranate seed with apple cider. I also love that Silver's is a lot of like straight up says like comfort food, and there'll be like a little blurb like, when I thought there was no hope in the future, I would return to this, and it gave me a little bit of hope to keep going forward. And I'm like, that's cool. Good for you, Silver.
yeah, good for him. So if he puts coleslaw on top of a chili dog, what's going on?
I mean, I don't think that's super crazy. Although I think the joke, I can't remember. I thought part of that was an in-joke where Ian's mentioned on the Bumblecast that that's like the worst thing he's ever heard of. And I can't, don't quote me on that, but that it was just funny for Silver to put on it. Oh, I think it's called like a Rivals chili dog, and he's like called. He's like really a little haughty about it. Like, I'm gonna make it my own. I'm Silver. Coleslaw.
I will say though, like the coleslaw tops the Sonic's signature chili, and I feel like those flavor profiles would actually work well together.
I am a coleslaw on a barbecue sandwich kind of guy. I
Yes,
bet it
me
would
too.
be pretty good.
Oh yeah, and that hyper realistic sandwich from that Eggman was holding, that's in the cookbook too. It's the villain
Oh
sub.
yeah, that's in here.
It's actually right after the rifle chili dog and the perfect egg dog.
It is worth noting that all of the chili dogs are under the sandwiches section, so
I mean, where else would you put them?
no, seriously.
Yeah.
Also, got to give a shout out the fact that even Big the Cat gets a recipe in here, and it is a type of hot dog, but it's got tuna salad
with
on it.
tuna salad on it, which, I mean, instead of chili, again, I would go for it. I would try it.
I would try it because my favorite, as I call it, stupid hot dog is one from my local baseball stadium where it's a hot dog with mac and cheese and then crab meat on top of it.
Kind of a
Crab meat, yeah.
bastardized lobster roll.
Ain't nothing bastard
I
about
do
it.
appreciate the butter lettuce that is kind of holding the tuna salad on the hot dog here.
Yeah.
That adds the appearance of something slightly healthy.
Also, they did onion rings because, of course, they did. Golden
Yes.
onion rings. They had to do it to us. That's fine.
It seems like a pretty good recipe too, because it uses the potato starch for the coating, which means they will be extra crispy, like a karage chicken.
And lots of drinks in here too.
Yeah, I think I need to add that to like one of the videos that we want to do because I was like, oh yeah, there's drink recipes in here. I should try that.
Pretty simple ones too. Like some of these are like basic ones. Like Sonic's is just like sparkling water. Actually, no, I'm not giving away the recipe to you. You got to buy this for yourself.
We will say that most of these Sonic flavored recipes use some kind of blue raspberry.
Yeah.
We can't go past the Sonic drink without saying that it's called Pure Hydro City or Hydrocity.
Hydro
because,
Kitty.
he opens with saying, yeah, I know, Hydrocity isn't a word, but it seemed appropriate. I also like that Knuckles is kind of, because he has some like Knuckles sandwich, Knuckles chicken sandwich, and Knuckles is fruit punch, and he's just like, yeah, Knuckles punch, hardy har har, which sounds really good because it's just a bunch of fresh fruit, mixed up into a nice punch.
Yeah, I think that's one I probably want to try, actually. I'll just go ahead and say that on the podcast.
Especially that putting that watermelon in there, that is going to be good. Although Amy's Pico Pico Slammer looks like it would be delicious with about 2 shots of vodka in it as well.
Yeah. Some of these were made in mind that someone is going to add alcohol to these, and that's fine.
Yeah, silver is a welcome warmth. You could probably just add some Baileys too. I say this as somebody who doesn't drink alcohol at all.
Yeah. Like here, I got to read this one. This is for Silver's drink, which is called a welcome warmth. Here's Silver's blurb. He says, sometimes when I want the comfort of something warm but don't want a full meal, I make one of these. It's rich, filling, and comforting. Sorry, what? Put marshmallows in it? You can do that? Can we? I'll get some now. It's so cute. But yeah, it's like it seems like it's like a white hot chocolate. But yes,
Pretty
looks
much.
very adorable.
And also leading into Shadow and Coffee, he does have a drink on here that has coffee in it. Caffeine control.
Yes, that literally has espresso in it.
Yeah, you should read this for yourself, folks, if you want to get a good idea of some Sonic food you can make for yourself. Some made up for this book, some based on stuff in the games. It's really good. I'm glad that Sonic has this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I as someone who very much likes to cook and has gotten like semi-serious about it for practical and just it's fun to do, I would recommend this book. Because like I said, it is not too overly complicated. There are some more advanced recipes if you want to work yourself up to it, but a lot of them are just really practical and like good building blocks for like, oh, hey, here's an easy, to put together like udon soup, and you could swap out different broths and toppings. And yeah, it's just really fun. I'm really glad it exists. And like I read some samples, quite adorable in character.
So that's the official stuff. Now, we get to have a little fun here on the podcast. No, we've been having fun so far, but now it's time to be creative.
Too much fun.
Yeah. In a section that I call "We Have Food at Home," it's our turn. I thought it would be fun if we thought up our own ideas for Sonic cuisine, both in universe that could be perhaps brought over here, and just some Sonic food products that we would like to buy ourselves in the real world. So, who wants to start off with their ideas?
I think I will, because I'm going to use my powers of persuasion and creativity to force in some recipes I made over Christmas into Sonic's world. Now, I couldn't decide on this first one because I'm thinking of Amy, cream, and vanilla, but I'm leaning towards Amy because, like I said earlier, I think she's associated with strawberries a lot. So I want to call this Amy's no-bake cheesecake. Now, this is an adaptation of, I think, recipes are funny. I feel like recipes are one of those art forms to where unless you go out of your way to specifically plagiarize somebody's cookbook, recipes just kind of grow and evolve on their own. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but I have a recipe for oatmeal scotchy cookies that my grandparents have made, I think, since before I was born. And it wasn't until I grew up that realized, it's a recipe they got out of a magazine from the 50s. But has grown and evolved with my family, so I always thought of it as a family recipe. But this cheesecake, it's actually pretty easy. You take 16 ounces, which is 2 packages of cream cheese. I would argue you want to get some pretty high quality ingredients. There's only a couple, so it won't be too expensive, but you want to take 2 packages of cream cheese and you want to beat that, preferably with a hand mixer. You can do it on your own. It's going to work out your biceps. If you got a stand mixer, then hey, even better. You're richer than me. But you beat that until it is whipped. Make sure it is softened, which just means set it out until it's room temperature. Then you want to add an entire small can of sweetened condensed milk, not evaporated milk, the sweetened condensed milk. And then to that, you want to add fresh squeezed lemon juice, and then you mix all that together. And once it is combined, you put it into a pie crust and throw it in the fridge for at least a day to set. And then right before you serve, you take either fresh strawberries, or you could do a can of strawberry pie filling or frozen strawberries in sugar, and top the pie with those before you carve it up and serve it to your guests. Oh, whoops, I forgot to say you should put the filling in a graham cracker crust and also add about a teaspoon-ish of vanilla extract.
Yeah, that's a full-ass recipe. That's really impressive. I guess it's because it's something you made yourself. But
yeah. I do think, don't quote me on all those steps. I'm paraphrasing from memory, but if you look up no-bake cheesecake, that is going to be the recipe that pops up. So make it yours. Go for it. You can add some cocoa powder, make it a chocolate cheesecake, etc., etc. My own other recipe, I could not think of a character to associate this with, but I'm going to go with Jewel the Beetle. Jewel the Beetle's perfectly organized and proper potato puree. How about that? And this is a variant on mashed potatoes, except instead of peeling and boiling the potatoes, I put them in the oven and baked them. You wash your potatoes. If you have a wire rack, you can put them up on there so they'll heat more evenly. Put those in the oven at 450 for about an hour. Then you can peel the skin off and add them to a large bowl. While they're cooking, you heat up your heavy cream and your butter. A lot of butter, more butter than you would think is possible. In fact, at least 4 sticks of butter.
Oh.
And while you're gently warming the butter, this is where you can infuse the butter with any other flavors you want. Like,
compound butter.
Yeah, you could throw some like rosemary and thyme in there, or I think you could probably do garlic, although I roasted a head of garlic and added that when I was mixing.
Oh, nice.
So once you've got everything cooked and warm, you want to add your butter first and just lightly mix that in with the potatoes. Don't fully mash them yet. Once that's incorporated, you add the cream. And then here's the hard part. You take that mixture and push it through a fine mesh sieve. Now, the thing I should have done before I did this was get a larger one, because I had one that was only about maybe 6 inches in diameter. And so I had to put 10 pounds of these mashed potatoes through that.
Oh my gosh.
Again, not hard work, just tedious, but it's worth it because that creates a wonderfully smooth potato puree. And then before serving that, you can add anything else to it, like the roasted garlic or some chives. And you just, depending on how much butter, or if you use salted butter, you might need to add a little salt. But yes, then that pairs perfectly with your, whatever else you're having. Or, have it on its own. Just delicious, delicious potatoes.
Yeah.
Everything's in its place, just like Jewel the Beetle likes.
Man, I wasn't expecting people to take this seriously. But that sounds great. Do you have any, cheap shit that would be sold in shops that you think would be great that you would like to actually buy that's Sonic-related?
Yeah, we didn't mention it, but we need to bring back those lollipops that had these silicone character covers on top of them, because that's just the most insane thing I remember existing. It was Sonic and Knuckles. I'm sorry, maybe on the video version we can have a picture. You got to look these up. I don't have anything PG-13 to describe them with. They're just you suck out, or I pull the silicone off top of the lollipop, and then you're supposed to play with it like a toy. I guess you could, I wonder if you could take, hey, remember creepy crawlers where you would melt down plastic into molds? I wonder if you could put some melted plastic in these silicone molds and have man, these things are horrible and they should still be on store shelves.
I'm glad we went for some genuine recipes to that. Okay, who else has some great ideas for Sonic cuisine?
All I'll say is that I want to know the full recipe for that drink that SBO made Eggman in episode 71 of Sonic X, because as far as I know, the only ingredients that were used there were either black sake or black vinegar and a raw egg. But I'm like, there's got to be more to it than that, right?
I would imagine. I mean, there are lots of cocktails that use, egg whites that you put in the shaker for a nice foam.
Yeah, it could be like some variation on a prairie oyster or something.
Yeah, the old hangover cure.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I'm most curious about personally, but
I think that would have to be an unofficial Sonic cookbook. I would take a whole list of Sonic cocktails.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I think that would be funny.
What about you, Jake? You got anything?
Yeah. So my first recipe idea was inspired by the fact that in the cookbook there is a soups and stews section, and I was honestly kind of, even though the recipes are great, I was disappointed by the fact that the soups are mostly Japanese soups, so udon and ramen, which I love those. Don't get me wrong, right. I'm all about those, but I wish there was a little bit more variety from around the world, because really the only other things are Charmy's sweet thing and
show me sweet thing.
I can't even remember what it is. It is some kind of honey broth under. Oh man, it's something crazy looking.
And then Sonic's chili.
Yeah, which chili, that's an argument you could get into with people, whether chili counts as a soup or a stew, or if it's its own thing altogether.
I think basically if it's soup, it's more liquidy and sloshy, whereas if it's stew, it's kind of held together more in my head. But that's a very basic thing, and that's not the recipe. My first recipe idea was I want to tie it to vanilla rabbit, because I wanted to have something that's I guess in a way a quote unquote more American soup, but just something that's not specifically Japanese. And I was thinking of something that's basically more of a vegetable soup, but the big thing is that you would, as well as like having carrot, celery, and onions to like, saute to bring out flavor to like add to the soup.
Your mirepoix.
Yeah. Mirepoix.
Sorry, that's carrot, celery, and onion, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Now I learned. My big thing was that you would also take whole carrots and chop them up into like big chunks. So not like small little things. Like, so this is me approaching the recipe as like a meat eater. Like instead of like making it like a chicken vegetable soup, you would just take carrots and like make really big chunks of them, and either just throw them in there into the soup already, or preferably roast them in either a pan or in the oven. To get like kind of a nice char on them, and like maybe and like either sprinkle them with dry herbs and garlic, or you could even do like a honey roast on them and then pop them in. And I just like, I want to attribute that to vanilla because they're rabbits and I imagine them being vegetarian. And I also think about that one Sonic short about about like Tails getting.
Man, I know exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tails getting the rabbit.
Yeah. And that seems like that could be, especially if you use like a chicken stock or a veggie stock for a base, like a very comforting, like, oh, sick home from school and mom whipped up a nice light soup to make you feel better.
And I know that like my wife and I like to make soups because they last for quite a few days, and they're pretty easy to, just throw everything together and let it soak and steep for a while. So I guess I would call that like Vanilla's carrot vegetable stew or soup.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just call it that. And then the other idea, which I was trying to like bounce some ideas off of my wife last night, and she mentioned like a really easy like egg bake where it's like partially egg bake, partially stir fry. Because like how sometimes in like a rice stir fry you like crack an egg in there and then scramble it up to like get like little bits of it in there.
Yeah.
I'm imagining, and this would go for Vector because I feel like this would be like something on the cheap to make. You could get a dozen eggs and use all of them, or like up to 8 or 10 of them. Unfortunately,
eggs aren't as budget friendly as they used to be around these parts.
Yeah.
Hey, topical.
Yeah. But that would be good for that would really be good for any meal of the day, lunch, breakfast, or dinner. And basically, like, you would make the stir fry, you would put like different vegetables in it, like peas and carrots and stuff like that.
Whatever you've got in the fridge.
Yeah. Season it up real nice.
That is the beauty of a good stir fry.
Yep. And then you would also, you could either pour the egg mixture onto the stir fry and then bake it, or maybe do them separately and then mix them together later. But I think it's versatile enough where, the detective boys could have a meal for a few days off of that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you could even do both. Like you stir fry all your vegetables and filling. You could even put a little, like you said, some eggs in there and scramble them then to get that texture. And then you could, like you said, take it out, put it in a baking dish and top it with more scrambled eggs. And so you would get like multiple egg textures.
Oh, yeah.
Mixed in there.
I like that too. Like, yeah.
I love a good like breakfast casserole, or I feel like when you say breakfast casserole, you're kind of doing like a crustless quiche.
Yeah.
And so you end up with that like browned like crispy egg bit on top, and then you cut into it, and then there's layers of just the fluffy eggs and then the pre-scrambled ones. Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, very customizable too. Yeah. Just like our poor detective boys, whatever they got hanging in the back of the fridge.
Man, you can tell which of the people here actually do cooking on a regular basis.
You did mention like what would be some like cheap things that you could just buy from the market. I think like those cookies that are like half black, half white frosting. I forget what they have an actual name, but
oh yeah, I forget what those are
like
called.
Yin Yang cookies or something like that. But you could do like a Sonic 3 tie-in where it's that, but it's like blue and red for Sonic and Shadow.
Oh, Sonato cookies.
Yeah.
Jake, I'm going to blow your mind. They're called black and white cookies.
Oh, wow.
There you go. I like Yin Yang cookies better.
The creativity of some of these people, I tell you. Oh, that sounds actually good compared to some of the stuff we were looking at in the list of actual Sonic products that came out.
Well, Chris, do you have any recipes for us?
Well, I don't have full-scale recipes because these are not things I have tried and tested. This is just some stuff I came up with today. But, okay, first and foremost, now, here's the thing. I'm not acknowledging the games just yet. I'm just saying that Sonic the Comic Sonic should absolutely have had a food of his own that wasn't just like junk food or chili dogs as he'd adopt later. No, because you see, Sonic in Sonic the Comic was always a bit American, but there was this vibe that he was kind of a British bloke trying to be an American.
Yeah.
So what we have here, my idea is a Sonic's food that he should have had in the Sonic the Comic. He should have had chili beans on toast.
Yeah.
Just get one of those tins of chili beans with the chili sauce in, pour it on top of your toast. I kind of want to try that, actually. That would be very simple. Doesn't require a stand mixer or anything.
No. I mean, I have made myself the traditional actual beans on toast, and let me tell you, it is very good with the proper seasonings and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a simple dish. Sometimes I will get like chili beans as a sort of like a not chili, like a very simple. It's just an excuse to get some kidney beans in me because they're actually good for my blood pressure. So
Yeah.
I'll have that with a bit of rice sometimes. But yeah, pouring that on some toast, mad idea. Should do it. It's kind of funny that you mentioned the egg white cocktails because I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if we did something like that for Eggman? And like Luke was suggesting, but no, because they're not going to do alcoholic drinks in the cookbook. But sometimes Eggman is going to need a stiff drink.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would work. I don't have an actual recipe in mind, except for maybe like some sort of gin sour of some sort with maybe some grenadine to make it look red. I don't know. I'm not a bartender. But that's just sort of like Eggman needs something after all this.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is an egg cream soda, but there's no actual egg in that. It's just seltzer water, chocolate, and milk.
Well, there would be if Eggman was making it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, throw an egg in there. Yeah, the only thing I know off the top of my head is I think there's a whiskey sour variation that uses egg whites, which is quite good. But yeah, I think Eggman's of age. He can have as many cocktails as he wants.
I don't know if he would. Well, I know he would. By the way, the third one I've got in here is just the first thing that came to it, Dr. Starline chili. I just wanted to make the pun. It's Cincinnati chili, where it's served on noodles and covered in cheese for some reason.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
I don't think he would actually make that. To be honest, I don't think he'd eat chili at all. To be honest, he'd something posh and fancy maybe, but it has to be derivative of Eggman in some way. So it's like an egg curry with chocolate mixed in. Because it's a mismatch of a furry character trying to be Eggman, or the platypus, which is mixed. It was just kind of mixed up.
Here's a real suggestion. I wonder if it's fancy enough. What if Dr. Starline would have something like a really fancy deviled egg with just a few beads of caviar on it? Like I'm talking like you take the egg yolks and you whip them up until they're buttery smooth. Again, hey, bring that sieve back, push them through, and then have like fancy like Dijon mustard in there, a little bit of, again, go back to the Japanese mayonnaise, and then just some nice nice orangey red salmon roe on those bites.
Yeah, that's a lot better than the thing I had. But that is the sort of thing Starline would make though. And it would look like his face somehow.
Because you get the egg for the platypus, but then also the Eggman, and then like you've got to make it really, really fancy. Because Starline's I just love him. He's so crazy.
Can I expand on your original idea about like the Cincinnati like chili spaghetti?
Oh, really? That one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to like fancy that up a little bit, you could instead of like spaghetti noodles, you could either use gnocchi. Like the potato, like pasta things, or you take the chili and you make stuffed shells with it.
Interesting.
Now, I've never had proper Cincinnati chili,
Skyline chili.
And I'm sorry, I'm sorry to the residents of Cincinnati, but I always thought it would be better if you just made it with ingredients that didn't seem like shit.
Basically. Okay, I'm gonna just gonna rush through my last section, which is my real world section of food. What I want brought back into Sonic. They should do chili beans that are Sonic. Why have they done that? Why haven't they done that in my country? Because we're weird here in Britain. Sorry, that list I was looking at was always dunking on British stuff. I'm like, okay, fair, but okay, you don't need to keep saying it though. Anyway, it's fine. Sonic chili beans by Heinz. That's what we need. We also need some more promotional collabs with restaurants, but ones that we're actually able to go to. So we'll have the Greg's Chili Sausage Roll. And hey, movie Sonic himself, Ben Schwartz, likes the Greg's Sausage Roll. I saw that in a video recently.
I saw that too.
It's a very good video.
The one thing we will never get is them collaborating with the actual Sonic's restaurant.
I know.
No, we will never get that. They're probably very mad about the fact that they're called Sonic as well.
I know. I believe that apocryphal story that like some CEO just like has an irrational hatred for the blue hedgehog. So it'll never happen.
I assume it's just like a brand confusion thing.
Yeah, that's probably it. No, where's Sonic? Where's Sonic first? Anyway,
Hooters Japan Sonic Forces menu. Remember that?
Sure do.
Cool that they did that.
I once went to one wearing a Sonic hat just for the joke.
Last thing, by the way, just because I'm British, again, Sonic yogurts, or yogurts if you want to call them that. I just could, because in the 90s we just had lots of really cool yogurts. And they're like Fiendish Feet. That was another yogurt we had over here. Do you know what those look like? They look like this. They're not as bad as you think they would. They're cool little monster guys. You could do that with Sonic, because he have his little sneakers on.
Because when you say Fiendish Feet...
Stop.
Well, like, I get what you're getting at. But it's nothing like the thing that we actually have over here called Funny Feet, which brings us back to ice cream, and it looks like this.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Because someone thought it. I guess it's because you can make an ice cream out of it easily.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sonic yogurts. Oh wait, hang on. What's this?
Oh, I do remember they had that Sonic Danimals, and I think Go-Gurt. It was part of. I think they had a contest.
Remember when they put Bongo, the Danimals mascot, into Sonic Dash?
Oh my God, they did, didn't they?
Squeezy yogurt, though.
It's hard to. That is the difference between American yogurt and proper yogurt. Is you can barely consider that snack real yogurt.
Yeah, what do we think about food when related to Sonic?
I think it started as it seems like it started as a purely like American thing. Like you said, in the age of your Ninja Turtles and your Street Sharks and your Biker Mice from Mars and your whatever the one with the cows was.
Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Just firing off that fast.
Like every character has to have a signature just because it's relatable, and it's usually a simple food like pizza that kids can go, I like pizza too. But I love how it's evolved over the years. And I mean, I want to say like it started with Unleashed and all the problems I have with that game. I love the animated little unlockable shorts with Chip and Sonic where they either fight over or experience like a new food. I love the one where they fight over the bow with the chopsticks. That's so cute. And now I feel like with the Sonic Cookbook and even like, little bits in Generations, and that there is like, oh yeah, it makes the characters feel more fleshed out and established, that they bother to have scenes like in the comics where they're having tea or a luncheon or a brunch, or I mean there's a whole adorable little story where Cream is finishing up a big dinner and Rough and Tumble come in to ruin it, and Vanilla the rabbit takes out her Glock and shoots him. Not really, but
Close
pretty
enough.
close. And I just like it. It's nice little pun not intended flavor for the Sonic world in general. And yeah, some of the old candies were pretty funny, like those cock sleeve lollipops.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something about when food is in things that I like that I want to try that food. So that's why I ever make chili dogs at all. That's why I will eat unhealthily hot curries because of Red Dwarf. It's like the little things that you like in life that I guess you were influenced and kind of hypnotized by fiction to tell us that we need to have the thing that the characters are having. That's how advertising works. Hooray!
Well, I mean, okay, you're not wrong. I would also say that it's not a super bad thing, because I mean, part of why I got started in cooking was because I wanted to eat anime food. Like, hey, ramen and rice, and I mean that has led to
the impossibly good-looking Ghibli food that nobody could ever create in real life.
Exactly. But I mean, even starting with that little spark, that has led to where, like, like I said, for practical and also personal reasons, like I make 90% of the food I eat, just because not only do I like cooking now, but I found out, hey, it usually tastes better when I make it anyway. So there is always going to be an underlying cynical, like, oh yes, this character likes Lancashire Farm natural bio yogurt. Go buy it from the store, and so you can have a healthy gut bacteria like Sonic the Hedgehog. But I don't think it's all bad if you say, like, hey, that ramen in Naruto sure looks delicious. I'm going to go try and make it myself.
You are right, though. Like, sometimes people just want to feel like we're a part of that world in a weird way. We're just, hey, I'm eating the thing that Sonic's eating. Uh-oh. To the bathroom. And that's fine.
Oh, it's blue.
Uh-oh. I like food, though. That's my thing. That's why we did this episode. It's made me hungry.
I hope Sonic continues to eat food so he doesn't die.
And I hope that the Sonic series continues to inspire new foods for us to try to make at home.
So we don't die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I need to find out what Sonic's eating before I eat. So
yeah.
This has been a positively delicious discussion, but
orders up.
Absolutely. This was a lot of fun. This was another episode where you just kind of wound us up and let us go by the end, Faulerro.
Yeah. I hope this was food for thought for all of you.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you'll take something from this and make some Sonic food of your own, or just normal food.
as long as it's tasteful.
I'm just glad we didn't burn out on this one. Food puns.
We can't be stopped.
Well, at the end of this bountiful feast, we would like to leave you with one final after-dinner mint by saying thank you for listening. You can... Man, I'm trying. You can follow us on the internet under Sonic F Series, and we are Sonic F on Blue Sky. And you can find me on social media at jeremybaker.actor on Blue Sky, and around the rest of the internet as GameBuddy, sometimes with a 1, 2, 3 at the end.
Oh, that's right, I'm next. I'm forgetting now. And you can find me all across the internet, cooking up some shit. Faulerro. That's Faulerro.
Love that jingle.
Warming over some hot takes.
Ah, there we go. You can find me on the socials as RockTheJake, and you can find me on Twitch as Mr. RockTheJake.
And you can find me on various socials at CyberLink420.
And as always, a special thanks to our friend Amy Waters for the use of their music from the album Gotta Go Slow. It is our delicious theme song. And you can check out more of her work on YouTube and Bandcamp. Also, if you wouldn't mind sharing the show, giving us a like, subscribe, etc., leave reviews, that makes us super happy because it means more people are out there getting to experience this.
And also, just, for comments' sake, like, if you have any of your own recipes that you think would work in the Sonic universe, please share them because, hey, sharing recipes is fun and we like to cook. So... by all means.
Also, definitely, if you had any of the weird food in the 90s as well.
Oh, please,
and what
yes.
you remember. But next time, well, folks, we've actually bumped this one up on our schedule because, hoo boy, not to spoil anything, but get ready for a conversation about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, insert live and learn sting right here because they did it, folks.
We're gonna have so much to talk about.
Yes.
I'm very excited because man, this was a fun one. I was surprised in many positive ways, so I'm excited.
I am right there with you.
I'm ready to geek out.
But until then, folks, I am GameBuddy.
I'm Faulerro.
I'm RockTheJake.
And I'm CyberLink, and hey, you're just in time for dinner. Instead of bread and water for a change, we're having water and bread.
Should have covered that one, really.
This has been The Hill is Always Greener, and we'll see you on the other side of the buttered toast.
Check, please.
Jeremy, you're hosting.
Oh shit, I completely forgot. God almighty.